Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your monthly angel card reading for August 2020. For this month's monthly reading, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this month, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Star Temple Oracle deck by Susie Cherub. Okay, so let's start by looking at what your stones of choice are for this month. Your first stone of choice is a beautiful amethyst cluster special intention pendant. These are the special intention pendants that I make often and wire wrap with gold or silver or bronze wire. The beautiful amethyst cluster crystal is obviously wrapped in gold here, and it has been Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 9, the essence of the humanitarian and creative and spiritual energy, and the master number 11, the number of the light worker and the visionary. It's infused with the qualities of the sign of Pisces for unconditional love, compassion, and spiritual connection to one's angels and guides. And it assists with the balancing of the crown chakra to open up one to higher wisdom and guidance. And it's also infused with Archangel Raziel's energy, the Archangel of alchemy and divine magic. Your second stone of choice is this beautiful Chinese writing stone special intention pendant. And this is wrapped in silver and Reiki charged with master number 11, the number of the light worker energies and the balance of duality. It also has infused in it the energies of the planet Neptune, planet of the spiritual realm, dreams, and astral travel. The energies of the sign of Taurus to help bring in an aspect of stability and emotional strength. And it's infused with the energies of Archangel Metatron to help one gain access to their own Akashic records and information from the ancient texts of humanity. And then your third stone of choice is this beautiful ocean jasper special intention pendant wrapped in silver. It's also called the Atlantis stone, and it's been Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 9, the number of unconditional love of self and others. It's got the energy of the sign of Pisces infused into it to help promote peace and tranquility. The activation of the energies of the lost continent of Atlantis with its mystery and power. And the energy of Archangel Raphael infused in it to help heal old energy patterns in the physical and emotional body, as well as the energies of Archangel Michael to lead one towards the next step on your highest and most important destiny path. So again, your stones of choice are the amethyst cluster crystal pendant, the Chinese writing stone special intention pendant, or the ocean jasper special intention pendant. Okay, so while you think about what stone of choice you want for your special message, let's start by talking about the energies of the month of August. So numerologically, August is a 12 month which reduces to a single digit of a 3. And the way we get the universal month vibration of any particular month is by taking the universal year vibration of 2020, because that's the year we're in. And 2020, if you add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is a 4. And then you take that 4 universal year number and you add it to the month in question. August is the 8th month, so 4 plus 8 is 12. So in numerology, we look at the single digit first, and then we can look at, oftentimes, what the double digit or triple digit, if there is one, vibration is. So the 3 vibration, numerologically, is about expansion. If you think about how the number 3 is written, it's open on that one side. It's kind of open up to expand into a higher vibration or expand into some particular energy. The thing is that with that principle of expansion that goes along with the number 3, there's no discerning whether the expansion energies is towards the positive or towards the not so positive. So just as much as the number 3, which also rules prosperity and abundance and blessings, can expand us in that direction of prosperity and abundance and blessings, it can also expand us into the energy of chaos or anxiety or disappointment or any other energy. So it becomes really important when we're in a 3 vibration to pay attention to our thoughts and our belief systems. If we're having constant negative thoughts, then during that time period, and this is true all the time, but especially in this month of August, since it vibrates to a 3, we're going to expand our thoughts, if they're negative, into a negative reality or negative circumstances. So, it rules kind of this visualization and manifestation principle. Where we put our thoughts and ideas is going to be what we create in our lives. So we want to make sure that in this 3 energy of August, we're thinking in the most positive terms. And we all go sometimes into the negative or the challenging, ways of thinking. But it's important to pay more attention to how you're thinking so that you can immediately catch yourself and then turn that thinking process around. Shift it to where the perspective becomes more positive and optimistic and full of, again, this idea of joy, happiness, blessings, prosperity, and abundance, which is what the true number 3 wants to be all about. The number 3, it rules joy and happiness. It rules the inner child, which is all about joy and happiness. It rules those abundant, prosperous energies, not just with finances and money, but with all areas of our lives, which brings in, again, many blessings. So again, watch your thoughts and pay attention to what your belief systems are. Your belief systems about yourself, your belief systems about your life and what you can or cannot accomplish, your belief systems about relationships or any of the relationships that you happen to be in, your belief systems about prosperity and abundance and deserving and feeling worthy of all these wonderful blessings that the universe wants to bestow upon you. So now let's look at the number 12. The number 12 in numerology is not considered a master number. It's not considered a karmic number, but it is considered a special number. The 12, because we have 12 hours in a day, well, we really have 24, but there's 12 hours on a clock. There's 12 months in a year. There was 12 apostles of Jesus, et cetera, et cetera. So the number 12 is kind of used very often in our reality. So the number 12 being a special number numerologically means that we've been through a complete cycle of experience. And we're coming to kind of the completion of this cycle of experience in order to realize something bigger, better, brighter. Now, the 12th major arcana of the tarot is the Hanged Man. And actually, in the Syrian Starseed Tarot here by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha, it is called the Hanging Man. Okay, so the Hanged Man, it's often depicted with a man hanging upside down from a tree branch. One of his legs are kind of hung over a tree branch. And in this case, the Hanged Man or the Hanging Man is inside of a crystal pendulum. So I like this rendition because the crystal pendulum, to me, is an energy of expansion as well, right? Crystals have a particular energy vibration. This particular crystal looks like it's either, well, I was going to say a clear quartz, but it almost looks like a smoky quartz crystal. And smoky quartz crystals, like regular quartz crystals, have a magnifying effect to it. It can magnify the energy vibration. But the smoky quartz crystal also has a grounding effect or a protective effect, a more focused effect. And so as this Hanged Man is hanging upside down and contemplating the reality around him, he can be more grounded and more focused about it with this particular smoky quartz crystal that he's inside of. Now, if you look really closely, the Hanged Man, his crown chakra is all lit up, okay? And he's in a very still pose, right? He's not squirming or trying to get out of it. He seems very comfortable and at peace with the fact that he's hanging upside down. He's in a meditative stance here, if you can see that. He's got his eyes closed and he looks like he's meditating. And again, his crown chakra is all lit up, opening up his crown chakra to higher awareness, higher wisdom, and higher information. But again, because he's reversed, he's upside down. Normally, if we're sitting up, our crown chakra is going up towards the universe. Now his crown chakra is going down towards the earth, so to speak. So we're becoming more aware of the reality around us. We're becoming more aware of the circumstances and situations that are happening on a third dimensional earth plane level. However, we're looking at them from a higher spiritual perspective, or at least this is what August should be all about, is us shifting our perception, which is him turning from upright to upside down. It's going to shift your perspective of how things look if you're looking at things from a different, vantage point. If you're looking at things from an upside down vantage point rather than an upward standing or upward sitting vantage point. So he's looking at things again from a different perspective, and he's trying to get a higher perspective, a higher spiritual awareness of the happenings on the third dimensional plane, what's going on around him in the collective, in the world, and trying to understand again, what is the purpose of it all? What does this all mean? He's not getting caught up in the fear or the anxiety. The smoky quartz is helping to ground him, right? Help him to focus. But focusing on this higher spiritual energy of it all. So that's what the Hanged Man is going to be about. Look at things from a different perspective in the month of August and try to move into a higher awareness of what the circumstances and situations in your life are all about, what they're trying to teach you, where they're trying to guide you, what strengths are they, is the universe or your higher soul self trying to intend for you. So that is pretty much the energy of the month of August from an energetic perspective. So let's talk about the highlights astrologically of the month of August. We're done with eclipse season. We had eclipses in June and July, but we're still experiencing the unfolding of those energies of the eclipses, which are all about endings and new beginnings. And we're starting to see on a collective level, and some of you personally are maybe perhaps starting to experience on an individual level, what the endings and new beginnings in life are all about. In this month of August, we start out on the 3rd of August, and again, I'm only going to give you the highlights that I feel are the most important to pay attention to, and then if you watch the weekly readings, you'll get more of the energies week by week. But on the 3rd of August, we have a full moon. Now, full moons intensify the energies, it intensifies our emotions and emotional reactions, and it's a cycle of completion. As the moon becomes full in her glory, we're completing that cycle of that full moon completion. And then after the full moon, she starts to go into a waning phase. So it's considered a cycle of letting go and releasing. Now, as we're building up to the full moon, it can be a quite intense, magical, spiritual energy. So we can utilize it for in magic work, intention work, building an altar, saying a prayer, writing out, intentions, etc. But again, right after the full moon, this is when we can kind of release and let go. It's a cycle of completion. So whether or not we intend it, we might see things or circumstances in our life shift or start to get redirected or start to be released from our life and our experience. Now, this particular full moon on the 3rd of August is at 11 degrees of Aquarius. And Aquarius is a fixed sign, which means it's kind of stubborn in its energies. It doesn't like change. Aquarius also rules, though, technology, and it rules humanitarian endeavors and humanitarian projects and getting together with groups of like-minded people for the betterment of humanity. The thing about this full moon at 11 degrees of Aquarius is that it's in a challenging aspect called a square to Uranus. Uranus is known as the Great Awakener. He is that sudden and unexpected lightning bolt of inspiration or energy that redirects our lives or changes our lives all of a sudden. It can rule strange and unusual occurrences. And it's usually about expecting the unexpected. Uranus is slowing down this month and stationing in a few days here in August at the 10th degree of Taurus. So 10 degrees Taurus, 11 degrees of Aquarius, where the full moon is, they challenge one another because Taurus is a fixed sign too. So with the fixed energies here, there's again a stubbornness and a not wanting to change. And Uranus, I want to say, might have the upper hand here. I mean, the full moon is a very powerful energy, right? And it's in that fixed sign of Aquarius that can be a little stubborn. And it's a social sign, an intellectual sign. It's an air sign. Taurus, on the other hand, is an earth sign. It's a sign of manifestation. It's a sign that rules the material world, like our finances and money situations, for instance. However, Uranus is a higher vibrational, evolutionary, generational planet. And again, he kind of rules that lightning bolt flash of insight, or, you know, the hand of God coming down and kind of redirecting and changing everything all of a sudden. So it's kind of a toss-up, you know, which one of these fixed energies is going to kind of win over here? Is it going to be the intellectual, social, kind of air energy element, or is it going to be the third dimensional manifestation of the material concerns of the world around us, including money and finances? It might be, you know, an equal kind of energy connection, if you will. And so here we have some sort of change or redirection is what it comes down to. There's probably going to be some sort of shift or change or redirection, something sudden and unexpected that happens as this full moon is, you know, bringing a rise in people's emotional energies and emotional interactions about different aspects of life. So you might see things, let's say, for instance, regarding groups, humanitarian groups working on certain causes, and something all of a sudden unexpected may come in around that full moon to shift or redirect it in some way, shape, or form. Now, during this full moon on the 3rd, Mercury is also opposing Saturn. Mercury is in Cancer, and Mercury rules our thoughts, our ideas, our communications. It's in the intuitive and empathic sign of Cancer right now, but it's opposing Saturn, which brings in karmic lessons. It brings in sometimes delays or restrictions. So if you're waiting to hear back from someone or an organization, or you're you know, waiting for some sort of meeting to occur, a meeting of the minds, maybe it's a work or career related thing, maybe it's a personal related thing. There might be some sort of delays, there might be some sort of restricted communications, there might be some difficulties or challenges. Again, this is around the full moon time because it occurs on the day of the full moon. And it can bring up this idea, again, of karmic lessons and what are we here to learn? What are we here to learn regarding our own thoughts and ideas, how we communicate, how we're feeling? Because again, Cancer, the logical planet, is in the emotional sign of Cancer. Now, on the very next day, and it seems like I'm, you know, going day by day, but I'm gonna skip here in a minute. But on the 4th of August, Mars is squaring Jupiter, and Mars is the warrior planet, the planet of energy, action, and forward movement, and it's challenging or squaring Jupiter, which rules the higher mind. It rules information, belief systems. It rules philosophical ideals. And so there's going to be, I feel like, some sort of challenges regarding people's ideas and beliefs around certain things. Now, this can be on a personal level or a collective level. Again, it can involve religious groups or philosophical groups, you know, people that share a common ideal, but then another group has a different kind of way of viewing it. Again, this can be on a personal level to where you and other people that you're challenged with your belief systems. You believe one way, other people believe another way, and there might be kind of a little bit of a difficult energy there as one's trying to, you know, convince the other, so to speak, of their beliefs. Or there could be judgments. Jupiter can be very judgmental, and because it's a square and challenging aspect, again, this may give rise to some warrior-like energies regarding our belief systems with one another. And I mentioned this because Mars, throughout this month of August, is not only squaring Jupiter, which happens to be in Capricorn, but is also squaring Pluto and squaring Saturn in this month of August. And it's not the only time that Mars is going to do that. Mars is going to square Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, all in Capricorn, 3 times. And actually the third and last time that Mars squares Saturn and Jupiter, it will end up being where Saturn and Jupiter have then moved into the sign of Aquarius. So let's go ahead and jump ahead to that for a moment, since I'm talking about Mars and Mars squaring Jupiter on the 4th, which is very close to that full moon time. On the 13th is when Mars squares Pluto, and that's probably really going to be an interactive, interesting energy, because Mars is the warrior and Pluto is the transformer. They both rule Scorpio, although Mars is the modern ruler here of Aries. Mars was the ancient ruler of Scorpio. And then when Pluto was discovered in 1930, Pluto became the modern ruler of Scorpio. So Scorpio has this energy of transformation, death and rebirth, transition, transmutation, power and control, secrets, the shadow side of things. So you can kind of get an idea that when Mars and Pluto come together in a challenging aspect like this, because Mars is in his home sign of Aries, so he's very warrior-like, he's very take charge, and then Pluto in Capricorn comes in to kind of challenge Mars, there might be sparks flying, okay? So we have to be aware that there might be situations that bring about some sort of, I'm going to use an analogy, a volcanic eruption of sorts, okay? And that could actually literally happen too, thinking about Earth changes, Earth and weather changes with some of the planetary energies. This could be an eruption of some sort, an eruption of the Earth or eruption of a volcano. But other than that, we're talking just about an eruption of energy with Mars square Pluto. And then Mars in the square aspect, challenging aspect to Saturn happens on the 24th of August. And Saturn is about limitations and restrictions and delays. So Mars, warrior, forward moving kind of energy. It's like, I want to move forward, I want to move fast, I want things to happen, I want to take action and see results, is going to be tempered by Saturn's restrictive and limiting effect. And so whatever we're working on by the 24th or around the 24th, give or take, we might end up seeing a slowdown. We might end up seeing some delays. We might feel challenged in some way, shape, or form. There might be frustrations that start to build with people because of that Mars square Saturn. Now, the end of September into October, into all of October, is when we're going to see the second time that Mars, as it retrogrades back, is going to square Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. And then in December of 2020 and into January of 2021 is the last time that we're going to see Mars in Aries square Pluto in Capricorn. And then as Mars in January moves into Taurus, the next sign of the zodiac, it will, for the last time, square Jupiter and Saturn, but they will both be in Aquarius by then. So I thought that was, an interesting thing to bring up for this month of August, since this is the first time that Mars, as it's just entered Aries, his home sign, bringing out his warrior nature, is going to be squaring these three planets all in the same month. So let's go back to the 4th of August. The 4th of August, we see Mercury, the planet of our thoughts, ideas, and communications, moving out of the empathic, sensitive sign of Cancer and into the creative, leadership-oriented sign of Leo. So he's moving into fire. So he'll probably be a lot more comfortable there because Mercury rules the mind, which is an air quality, and moving into Leo, fire, gives it some oomph. It's going to allow this kind of creative self-expression through communication and new ideas, new creative thoughts to just kind of blossom and come through. On the 7th of August, Venus is changing signs. She's going to be moving out of Gemini and into Cancer. Venus rules relationships and partnerships, and she rules personal resources like money and finances and other types of personal resources, like support from other people, for instance. So while Venus was in Gemini, Gemini is a sign of duality. We could have been vacillating back and forth about matters within a relationship of some sort. We could have been vacillating or confused or gathering information regarding money or financial matters. Now Venus is moving into Cancer. She's going to become more loving and nurturing and guiding and compassionate and, that divine feminine energy. So in relationships, that to me bodes very well. It's going to bring in a nice energy as far as relationships. Cancer rules home and family, so there might be more of a focus on home and family types of relationships. As far as money and finances, Cancer likes security. Usually it's about emotional security for Cancer, but that can also translate into money and finances, bringing a sense of emotional security, since Venus does rule money and finances. So we're going to look for ways to feel more emotionally and financially secure. And if we do have a little nest egg, or we've created some abundance with our finances, we might try to securely hold on to that. Cancer sometimes hoards energies, or hoards things. So in this case, the Venus in Cancer might be kind of like, okay, I got to hold on to my money because I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm going to like put it away somewhere and just kind of keep it there for a while, and so that way I'll feel more secure. Now I'm going to jump ahead here because we already talked about Mars, to the 15th of August. The 15th of August is when Uranus, that Great Awakener, the planet of sudden and unexpected changes and redirections, the lightning bolt, energy of the aha moment, or inspirational energies, turns to retrograde motion on the 15th. So the first couple of weeks, it's slowing down. We're going to start feeling the intensification of the Uranus energies. And then as it turns retrograde is when it's going to be heightened the most. But even after it turns retrograde, for a few days thereafter, because Uranus is such a slow-moving planet, we're going to feel this kind of electrical, nervous energy. We might feel like it's anxiety within us around that time period, a few days before, a few days after the 15th of August. So we might feel like there's this anxiety, electrical energy pulsing through us, keeping us awake at night. We can't sleep as well. Our meditations are off the charts because we're channeling all this information and energy, and we're getting an active dream time state. We're getting these visions, if you will. We're able to connect with our angels and guides a lot more easily, and tap into our psychic abilities and senses a lot more easily. And again, on an external, third dimensional level, because Uranus rules change and redirection, sudden and unexpected usually, there could be some circumstances and situations and events outside of us, and it could be personal, within our sphere of personal living, but it could also be in the collective of the world, to where there's things that are just out of the blue, like where did that come from? Never saw that coming. So again, it rules the strange and unusual. So some of these situations could be, again, just seeming very odd, very out of this world, kind of strange. So I like Uranus energy because I have an Aquarius ascendant, and Uranus rules Aquarius, but I don't want any of you to be fearful of that change and freedom energy. That's the other big key word for Uranus, is freedom. So it frees you from energies or situations or circumstances that are holding you back. So if there's something that you need to be free of, whether you consciously want it or your higher soul self knows that you need it, then Uranus coming into this retrograde motion at that time might actually free you from some sort of energy. Then we come to the new moon on the 18th of August, and the new moon is going to be at 26 degrees of Leo. So both the moon and the sun are at 26 degrees of Leo. Leo, again, is very creative. It's about shining your light. It's about having fun, but it's very leadership, take charge oriented. It wants to be the leader. So there's new beginnings here, new beginnings with this new moon in Leo. And this new moon in Leo is pretty positively aspected. It's conjuncting Mercury, bringing forth new creative ideas and thoughts. It's in a positive connection to Mars, the warrior, in his home sign of Aries, another fire sign. So we're being able to give energy to, or there's an activation of energy of this creative new beginning, new creative projects, being more colorful, taking charge of one's life, even inspirational kind of energy. So connecting with Mercury, positive, connecting with Mars, positive. And then it's trining, which is another positive aspect, the South Node. And the South Node is about the past or past life gifts, talents, and abilities. It's those things that we're familiar and comfortable with. So if it's in a trine to the South Node, that means it's in a sextile to the North Node. So the South Node is in Sagittarius, another fire sign, and the North Node is in Gemini, which is an air sign, the opposite sign of Sagittarius. So again, this is a positive connection where I just think that we're expanding into our gifts. We're having opportunities to share information or learn new information or communicate information to other people. And it just feels like an overall good energy there. And then on the 19th and the 22nd, Mercury moves into Virgo and the Sun moves into Virgo, respectively. So Mercury will be moving into its home sign of Virgo, where it's paying attention to details a little bit more, analyzing things, trying to understand things and perfect them. And then the Sun again follows suit, moving into Virgo on the 22nd. So then there's a shift to more practical things. You know, this is an earth sign. There's more practical and logical than the Leo energy that we've had up until this point this month. And even though the next full moon isn't until September, I wanted to mention, because on September 1st, so the very first day of September, we're in another full moon, which is going to be in Pisces. So at the end of this month, the 30th, 31st of August, we're building up to this full moon energy, which is in the last sign of the zodiac, Pisces, which is truly going to be an energy of completion. But we'll talk about that more as, you know, we look at the September monthly video next month. So that's a little bit about the astrology. So let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides and then see what your special message card is. So the first card that I already drew in my meditation for the month of August, this is the Five of Orbs. And I feel like I've seen this card very recently. I think it might have been in one of the weekly readings in August, the Five of Orbs. And the orbs is about swords. It's about the mind. It's about our thoughts, ideas, and communications. The fives usually bring in some sort of chaos or confusion, misunderstandings. Sometimes it can be kind of a fighting sort of energy. So this would be like fighting or disagreements with our words with other people. Look at this person. They don't really have a face. It's like they're a faceless person trying to juggle things. Two of those orbs is on the ground. They don't even have a hold of them anymore, and they're trying to juggle the other three. We have a background of like dark storm clouds here. So this is telling me that our thoughts, our mind seems rather cloudy, seems rather stormy, seems rather maybe chaotic. Maybe we're kind of absorbed into some anxiety and fears on a mental level. We're trying to juggle a lot of thoughts, ideas. We're trying to juggle a lot of things in our lives, and it's causing us a lot of confusion or feelings of being ungrounded. We can't see things clearly. Things are not clear as to what's unfolding or what's happening. So, you know, to start out the month, I feel like, you know, this is partly maybe the full moon energy as it's challenging Uranus, and Mars is squaring Jupiter at that point too in the beginning of the month. But it's important to do what you can to stay clear, which is meditation, taking walks in nature, just even taking a couple of deep breaths before you speak, knowing that whatever this is about, whatever the confusion or chaos or misunderstandings are about, that we will be able to move forward at some point to clear those up. So have no fears, have no worries, although, again, you might want to do what you can to stay grounded and stay focused on the task at hand. There's always a solution to any challenge, right? I feel like that's what just came in. There's always a solution, they say, to any challenge. So look for the solutions instead of focusing on the difficulties or challenges or lack, okay? Focus on the solution. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next card for the month. And the next card, the second card, is the Eight of Orbs. Okay, the Eight of Orbs. So this is another swords card, another card of the mind, of how we're thinking, how we're perceiving. Again, you know, thinking about, again, going back to the 12th Major Arcana, right, that rules August, looking at things from a different perspective, needing to see a higher perspective in regards to things that are going on outside of us. And now we have, you know, first the Five of Orbs and now the Eight of Orbs. So our mind, you know, our thoughts is really conflicted about some things right now. The number 8, numerologically, rules our sense of power or empowerment. It also rules money and finances, career, life path, destiny path, and our own inner sense of authority or authority figures outside of us. So there may be some power and control issues with other people, and some things maybe being spoken or communicated that's showing that power and control. There could be communications or thoughts about money and finances that are difficult or feeling like they're disempowering to you right now. The number 8 is about, again, finding your internal sense of power, finding your inner power, finding your inner authority. And so I feel like, this woman here, she's standing next to a creek or a river of water, but she's on the bank, and she's all entangled in these vines. So you're becoming all entangled in your own thoughts that are most likely challenging or negative on some level. And this is about not letting the thoughts or the ego mind get the best of you. This is about untangling yourself from all of those thoughts. So whatever you need to do to get grounded, to get focused, take a couple days off, go out into nature, take a little weekend retreat, or just take some days off and just watch movies, whatever it is that will help you to kind of calm and center again and to find your power again. Kind of, looking at what some of those thoughts, perspectives, ideas, and belief systems are all about, and realizing that they don't need to get the best of you, that all you need to do is kind of reclaim, if you will, reclaim your power over whatever it is that's happening, reclaim your power over these thoughts and belief systems. And I keep feeling like the water here has something to do with it. So the water, I feel like being around water, if you can get out to be around water, that can be very calming and peaceful. And it kind of helps to settle us a little bit a lot of times when we're near the water. So if you can get out there near the water, and there's also something about the emotions with the water. Water rules our emotions. And I'm not quite sure how that fits in right now. Except for to say that in this card, everything seems kind of dark and dreary. So our emotions too might be entangled. So again, I feel like focusing on those things that give you joy, peace, and happiness is also something that we need to do to bring our emotional level as well as our mental level back up into more of a sunny and optimistic disposition. Let's go ahead and take a look at the third card. Now the third card came out as 2 cards. So the first of those 2 cards, and wow, love this card. This is abundance. Major Arcana number 3, and abundance. And isn't that interesting? Because August, the single digit numerologically for August, is the 3 energy, about expansion, abundance, prosperity, and blessings. And look at that beautiful card. We have a beautiful Empress here. This is normally the Empress card in the traditional tarot, Major Arcana 3. The Empress is giving birth. In this case, she's giving birth to new energies, new higher spiritual energies. She's manifesting something. She's doing magic to me. She's got this beautiful kind of upward pointing triangle, energy coming down from the heavens, from the universe, and it's coming down and being manifested through her ability to give birth to a new idea, a new thought, a new perspective. Maybe she's actually writing out her intentions, speaking out her intentions through this kind of magical energy that she's holding onto. But this is saying, and I feel like this goes to maybe the new moon that is so positively aspected in that wonderful creative sign of Leo, that perhaps there's this abundance yet that we cannot see. There's these blessings that we cannot see yet. But you need to be part of the co-creative process. And part of that co-creative process is putting your mind in a more positive place. Remember the number 3, as I talked about our belief systems and keeping our belief systems in the most positive space that we can, focusing on joy, happiness. What do you want to create? Visualizing the end result, the goals that you're trying to accomplish. As you visualize them, as you intend for them, as you kind of attach positive emotions and thoughts to them, that's where you're going to get this wonderful abundance energy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the last card, or the card that came out with the abundance card, and see what that has to say. Okay, this is the 8 of crystals, and this is like the 8 of pentacles in the traditional tarot. The number 8 is a number of empowerment. Remember, we had the 8 of orbs, and the 8 of orbs was feeling disempowered on the mental and emotional level, mostly on the mental level. Now we have the 8 of crystals, and so we're now feeling more empowered on the material level. So we have abundance followed by the 8 of crystals. So again, there's something I feel like being manifested here. We're using our gifts to build something. Look at this person, so carefully placing these crystal pyramids, if you will. And they're not really pyramids, but they're, I don't even remember what the name of that kind of crystal is, but they're standing up here. He's placing them ever so carefully on these steps. And these steps are leading to this beautiful castle here in the background, something that maybe is his goal, his intention that he's working towards. And each step that he takes, each crystal that he places is closer and closer to that castle, that goal. And he's very carefully energizing and putting his intentions into this next crystal, this 8th crystal, before he places it even yet closer to that goal of what he's trying to accomplish. The number 8 is about success and accomplishment on a material level with your career, your life path, your destiny path. And these crystals are so crystal clear. So be very crystal clear about what your intentions are. Be very crystal clear on what your goal is. As clear as you can be anyway. You know, perhaps rather than having all the details, the goal is just to have abundance, prosperity, financial stability, happiness, joy, family, good health. You know, you can have as many intentions as you want. And those are general but yet specific enough that if you focus on what those intentions are and you just start taking little steps in any way towards your goals, and you're very carefully building a path towards this final achievement here. So I feel like this abundance and prosperity comes from your work and your efforts and your own sense of personal power and owning your power and utilizing it in the most appropriate way towards the success and recognition that you desire and that you deserve. So let's go ahead and take a look at your special message card depending on your stone of choice. Okay, so taking a little shuffle here, taking a deep breath. And for the amethyst cluster, the people that chose the amethyst cluster people, this one's calling my attention. This is beloved Zeus. Ooh, it's the lovers. And it says, this cosmic union is destined for greatness. Okay, so there's some sort of union here. This could be with a romantic partner. This could be a business partnership as well. This could be a new child that you've just given birth to. And there's even saying this could even be a new pet that's come into your life. This could even be a union with your divine feminine and divine masculine within yourself. But there is a balancing and a merging of energies here. Okay, so again, this beloved Zeus, the lovers, the cosmic union is destined for greatness. If we're talking about the divine feminine and the divine masculine within you, as you're balancing that and integrating your own divine feminine and divine masculine, it's going to assist with the manifestation of your desires, because the divine masculine makes decisions and take appropriate positive actions, and the divine feminine allows and is receptive to receiving the blessings that come forth from the action. Now again, this could be literal, and maybe a divine partnership of some sort comes into your life, the romantic partnership that you're seeking, the soulmate that you're seeking. Maybe it's a business partnership, the perfect person to work with, the perfect person that's going to support you in a business venture. Maybe it's, again, a new family member or a family relationship to where there's healing that takes place. And this divine interaction, this divine connection propels you to this higher step on your evolution and growth. Okay, so beautiful, beautiful card for the amethyst people. For those of you that chose the Chinese writing stone, special message for Chinese writing stone. Okay, this one's popping up here in the middle. This is the jade star. It says surrender. And it says, I am ready to let go with self-compassion. I feel like you're letting go of an emotion, a feeling, an old belief system, a subconscious pattern. You might even be letting go of a situation or circumstance, or possibly a relationship. It seems to be heart chakra oriented, as she's wearing the color green, the jade color, right? So there's an emotional attachment to whatever you're letting go of, but it's freeing up your heart chakra to be able to open up to something new, to open up to a new way or an expanded way to love or feel compassion, to open up to a new relationship, to open up to new blessings, to open up to new abundance and prosperity. Green also is the color of abundance and prosperity and money, right? So we're surrendering here. We're letting go. Rather than forcing the issue, or rather than even taking an action to make something happen, we're needing to be in a space of letting go, surrendering, and allowing something to be released as well as come in to our beingness. So beautiful, beautiful card here. Just looking at the back of her dress, and it almost looks like it's snake energy or dragon energy back there. Dragon is a very powerful totem. Ancient totem, just as all of, to me, the reptiles. The snake is about transformation. This is about some sort of ancient transformation, ancient power that kind of comes in with this ability to surrender and let go and then allow. All right, and then for those of you that chose the ocean jasper. Okay, so the ocean jasper people, special message for ocean jasper. This one's calling my attention. The Awakener, rise. And it says, out of the ashes, I rise like the golden sun. Oh, I love it. I think of the phoenix, of course, rising like the phoenix from the ashes, right? You've been through such a time, you've transmuted a lot of lower energies, maybe you've released a lot of patterns or situations from your life. Maybe you feel like you've been at the bottom and, you know, just in this huge, intense healing energy process. But now it's time to rise again. The Leo energy of the first part or of most of August here before everything moves into Virgo, you know, it's shining your light. It's creative self-expression. It's, you know, allowing yourself to kind of just be you and be recognized for who you are. So it's really time to shine your light and rise from the ashes, born anew here. It's time to awaken to your truth, awaken to the blessings that you deserve in your life. Okay, so you're awakening some aspect. Maybe you're awakening to your true path. Maybe you're awakening to your true deservedness and worthiness in life, whether it be in a relationship or financially or whatever it might be. But there's some aspect of you energetically awakening. This could be energetically awakening your psychic vision, your connection to your higher soul self. But I love this card as you're rising to the task. You're rising into kind of this universal energy of spirit that allows wonderful and beautiful blessings to come in to your existence. So I want to thank all of you for hanging in there in this monthly angel card reading. I'll see you in the next weekly angel card reading. Thank you so much for your love, your support, your kind comments, your testimonials, and supporting me in all the various ways that you do. I love you all very much. I appreciate you all very much. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. I send you lots of love and light and many angel blessings, everyone. Namaste.